So one of the biggest questions on everybody's lips regarding Starbreeze Studios at the minute is what were they going to do once they get out of reconstruction? What are their plays going to be to get them out of debt and back into financial security again? Well, today we've got our answer. The first move is relating to the mobile version of Payday, Payday Crime War. We're going to get into all the information in this video, find out everything that's been going on, and talk a little bit more in depth about it after that. So without further ado, my name is Red Archer Live, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Payday Crime War. Let's do this. So today's video follows on from a couple of news articles that were published back on February 5th of 2019. This actually slipped my attention for a little bit and I've only just come across it within the last couple of days. That's why I didn't make a video last week on it. But today we're going to look at both of these articles, which have given information regarding a new publishing deal for Payday Crime War. That being, Starbreeze have signed a deal with Universal Games and digital platforms. Now there are two articles to look through, both of which aren't that long, but there are repeated parts across some of the articles. So what I will do is I'm going to read firstly from start to finish the article Starbreeze signs publishing deal for Payday Crime War with Universal Games and digital platforms, and then follow on with the other article, Universal Games and digital platforms collaborates with Starbreeze on new Payday mobile game. There's not too much, so I figured I'd just read through it all and then talk about it afterwards. So the first article reads, Starbreeze AB, an independent creator, publisher and distributor of games, today announced that its subsidiary Starbreeze Production AB has signed a binding term sheet for a 5-year distribution deal with Universal Games and digital platforms for its mobile title Payday Crime War. Under the agreement, Starbreeze will receive a $1.5 million advance payment upon signing, and Universal Games and digital platforms will cover certain costs for continued development, marketing, live operations, and user acquisition with respect to the game. Upon worldwide launch, if any, Universal Games and digital platforms will pay an additional installment of an advance or guarantee and thereafter will recoup its costs, after which Starbreeze will retain a revenue share equivalent to PC and console publishing deals on sales of the game, while Starbreeze retains all IP rights for the title. To interrupt very briefly, I know there's a bit of business talk there, but the key parts to focus on is that the deal is going to last for 5 years, so once they release the game, there's going to be a lot of support for it. It's going to be a free-to-play mobile game with microtransactions, as some of you might have seen in the beta late last year, but the key thing to focus on is that Starbreeze still holds all the rights to the franchise. That is purely for publishing. They have not sold any of the rights to the franchise to Universal. They're not giving any creative freedom to Universal. It's only to get the game out for more people to play. That's the top and bottom of it, and that's all there is to it. Payday is in the core of our business, and we're happy to find a great partner in Universal Games and digital platforms to help realize the mobile title Payday Crime War in the expansive way it deserves. There has been good traction in our open beta last year, and we will continue to further develop and tune the title for its release together with Universal, said Mikhail Nermak, Starbreeze's acting CEO. We've spent nearly 2 years building a trusted games team with proven expertise in all aspects of mobile game publishing, said Chris Heatherly, Executive Vice President of Games and Digital Platforms at Universal Brand Development. With the addition of Payday Crime War to our game slate, we can help Starbreeze bring a fresh, new experience to Payday fans on mobile, the largest gaming platform in the world. The project will jointly be evaluated during the next 6 months, whereafter Universal Games and digital platforms has the option to fully exit the agreement if certain KPIs are not met, and the parties will work together to establish the new global release timeframe, which is estimated for 2019. I wouldn't worry too much about the 6-month part there towards the end about them being able to remove the agreement if they wish. I think that's just there as a technicality and as a little bit of small print in case something goes wrong behind the scenes. But what's also interesting is that we also have a slight idea of a release timeframe. They're going to work over the next 6 months to get the game as ready as possible, and then hopefully not long after release it. So if we do see the game, it's going to be in the later half of 2019, which is sad because it has been put back a couple of times. It was first announced and expected to be released in 2017, then it was pushed back to 2018, then we got the beta in late 2018, and then everything going on with Starbreeze and ending off Payday 2 and everything else in between has just pushed it back even further. But from what I've played of the beta, I will go into more details afterwards. What I played of it, even though I didn't do another video on it, I did actually quite enjoy it, and if they touch up a few things, make the experience a bit more fun altogether, then it really could be a powerful mobile game they've got on their hands, and one that can gain a lot of traction. But without going into any more detail, which I will do in just a moment, let's read the other article titled Universal Games and digital platforms collaborates with Starbreeze on new Payday mobile game. Now, as I said earlier, there are some parts of this second article that repeat points or have them in different wording, but basically say the same thing, such as Starbreeze keeping the rights, etc., and the quote from Chris Heatherly. So we'll cut all those parts out. The thing to focus on really is the second paragraph, which reads, Universal and Starbreeze have a 15-year relationship going back to the critically acclaimed The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay in 2004, and most recently partnered on the Mummy Prodigium Strike VR location-based game in 2017. Starbreeze is part of a growing list of talented development and publishing partners that Universal Games and digital platforms is working with since announcing in 2017 that it would take a more active role in the development, marketing, and distribution of games based on NBC Universal properties and select original game properties. Payday Crime War will be one of the organisation's first published mobile games to be released this year, with more to come throughout the year. There's then a tiny bit more to add on to Mikhail Nermark's quoting from the last article, where he simply says, Universal has a clear and high quality vision for Payday Crime War, which stays true to what fans have come to expect from the intense, groundbreaking franchise. We are confident that they will be instrumental in guiding us to a successful global launch of the next chapter in the Payday universe. More details about the game will be announced in the coming months, and for more information, please visit www.paydaycrimewar.com. Also would recommend that to you guys if you want to see more about the game, but I have actually done a video previously on Payday Crime War. A link will be in the top right corner of the screen now, or also in the description if you fancy going to check that video out. But let's break this down a tiny bit more and go into a bit more detail. So first off, now we have an idea that Payday Crime War is going to come out in 2019. That's the current predicted release date. It isn't confirmed, it isn't solid, it could end up coming out in early 2020 if there are any complications here and there, but considering how the beta looked a few months ago and also just the amount of time they've spent on the game and put it back repeatedly, I would say that there's a pretty good chance it will release within 2019's time window. It just seems like that's the smart prediction to make. Now, I managed to play the game a little bit, not nearly as much as I wanted to because I had other commitments with university, but I did towards the end of the window sit down and give it a bit of a go. Now, I haven't played a lot of FPS games on mobile, so it could be this is just me not being used to that kind of thing, but personally I felt like the handling was a little bit off. The way they worked, it was that you move the camera around on the right side of the screen and you could move your character with the left. It was you used each thumb for each different function. I didn't really gel with that very well. I think maybe if I played it more and got used to it, then I would get better at it and, you know, improve my knowledge of it, and at least I'm hoping that I got that right anyway, because if I said that wrong, then that already makes me sound like an idiot, so I'm hoping I got that right. It's been a few months, please forgive me if I got that wrong. But it just didn't feel quite perfect to me. The movement felt quite nice when you were moving around the map and everything. Obviously, the graphics weren't amazing, but it's a mobile game for Payday. And I've said this before about Payday 2. The graphics don't have to be absolutely stellar. It's a bank-robbing game with a bit of a comical twist to it. If you're expecting GTA-style graphics, then you've gone to the wrong place. I like the graphics the way they are, and on mobile, they are a lot lower res, but I really don't care enough for it to be an issue, and the people who do, then sucks that you're not happy with it, but I think it's good enough for me. And having excuse to deal with someone like Universal Games, that's a very big company to help push the game out the door, and also that lovely cash injection of $1.5 million US from Universal as part of this deal will help at least partially to get the company out of the debt they've sunken into. Not to mention also selling the rights of System Shock 3, one of their upcoming games, back to the developers, so Starbreeze no longer has any involvement, but it did generate, again, a bit more cash to help them get out of the situation that they're in. I think something to note is that when the game does eventually release, they may end up rebalancing how the microtransactions work. That being, they may add either a couple more expensive options, they may up the price generally for them. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it. It sounds, though, from the article, if you read right the way through both, that it's going to be a free-to-play game. That isn't going to change. You can play it with absolutely no extra cost on top if you don't want to pay any money, but you can pay for microtransactions to open safes, to improve your loadout, etc., if you want to go down that road. Microtransactions have been very popular with more recent games that choose this option over releasing paid DLC packages, so if they get this right and they balance it right, with the amount of publishing attention they'll get from Universal, they could get a big cash injection just from people buying safes from the game, so hopefully they handle it right. But obviously they could introduce paid DLC for the game where you can play as other characters. Maybe for £1 they might add Sydney to the game. I'm just picking her because it's my favourite character. Maybe for £1 they'll add the Bulldozer with, I don't know, the Skulldozer face paint. They might add Zeal Team officers as skins for paid DLC. They could do that quite easily, and honestly it might not be a bad idea, because that's the kind of thing where you wouldn't need it to play the game, but you might want it, and if it's cheap, you might not begrudge buying it, and it might, again, help them with their financial issues. The point I'm trying to make, while it might sound a bit vague at the moment, is that Starbreeze have a great opportunity now. They have a game that's going to release on mobiles, which, as the article says, is the biggest gaming platform right now. So if they tap into this right and they gain enough attention from not just Payday players, but anyone in general on app stores just flicking through, if they see that game, they get into it, and they get a lot of popularity as a result of that kind of thing, they could really not only get more DLCs funded for Payday Crime War, they could also possibly help with the console version to Payday 2, but more importantly, get that cash into Payday 3, which hopefully should be the final kick to get Starbreeze back into Golden Boy status. That is, I'm thinking, the hope and the plan for them. So it's all about execution now. If they execute this wrong, then I really am worried for Starbreeze. This could be the make or break now, because the fact that they're still going now after being in reconstruction, that is really, really good. They could have quite easily just completely shut doors and gone bankrupt, and that would have been it. But they're still going, and they're getting this game out the door. So if this works, this could be a hell of a turnaround for the company, and I honestly really, really hope it is. But either way, that brings an end to this video talking about Payday Crime War, and as always, I want a discussion starting in the comments down below with you guys. What do you think about everything I've talked about in this video? What do you think about them securing their deal with Universal? What do you think about Payday Crime War in general? Did you get a chance to play it in 2018 as the beta, and if so, what were your thoughts on it? And what do you think about when the game will release? Do you think it'll come out this year or next year, and how might they handle all of their DLC and microtransactions? Let me know everything down below, and we'll get talking. As always, can't wait to see what you guys say. But other than that, thank you all very much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. It's always very much appreciated. I did say back when I did the first Crime War video that I would do more on this, so I may cover more things as time goes by, depending on the reception, because the first video did go down quite well, so I'm surprised I never did another one, honestly. Either way, we'll see what you guys think. Leave a comment, let me know what you think of the video. But other than that, like the video if you've enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new, because as always, you know the rules by now. It's quick, it's free, and I'll always love you for doing so. But either way, thank you all for watching. I will see you all next week with a brand new video. Until then, have a great weekend. See you all soon, and take care.